name is Lalit Soni and I welcome you all in this live session by Drishti IAS. So as usual, we'll be starting with our newspaper. Okay, so we'll start with the front page and then I'll go to the practice question which was given to you for your practice, and I have seen that most of you has given the correct answer. After that, we'll take these 3-4 important articles, that is Rajouri terror strike. So there has been a terror strike in Rajouri sector, and we will see why there is a sudden rise in such activities here, and what was the pattern earlier and what is the change now. Other than that, we'll see that why these sectors like Rajouri and Poonch are important. Okay, and then we'll talk about issue around EU's carbon tax. Okay, so European Union has come up with this plan wherein they will start taxing us from 2026-27. They are saying that they will have a carbon tax on their imports. Okay, because of which whatever export India is doing to European Union, that is around some 8 to 9 billion a year. So that would get impacted, because obviously if the duty is increased, because of that the export will become less competitive. Okay, so we'll talk about that and what India is doing regarding that. Then this donkey route, okay, or the donkey route. Okay, so basically this is actually the donkey route. Okay, but you must have heard about this movie of Shah Rukh Khan, which has been in news. So that movie Donkey is related to the migration of people from countries like India to, let's say, America and Europe. In that movie they have talked about migration to Europe, but the thing is, in actually that is regarding the American dream, or you can say people migrating from developing countries to America. Okay, so whatever route they are taking, or the illegal route they are taking, okay, using these traffickers, etc. So we will talk about that. Okay, then that could be important from your map point of view. After that, we'll talk about some world affairs, and then for your route there is an article. We'll take a few practice questions as usual. Okay, so now let's see Rajouri sector terror strike, 4 soldiers killed, 3 injured in ambush. Okay, so we'll talk about this. Other than that, there were no not very important article from this. Here you can say the untold story in Punjab's drug crisis. Okay, so basically Punjab has been dealing with this drug problem for a long time now. Okay, but the thing is, we did not take this article because it won't be important. There are some data if you want to look at. There is an infographic in the front page. Okay, other than that, we will start with the practice question. Which objective is associated with sustainable development goal 8.7 here? Okay, so basically if you don't have idea about 8.7, just you need to have an idea of goal 8. Okay, so there are 17 sustainable development goals here, you can see. Okay, no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, gender equality, clean water sanitation, affordable clean energy, decent work and economic growth. Here see, this is about decent work and economy they are talking about. Okay, so that can be a place where they can talk about labor, etc. Okay, then other is industry, innovation and infrastructure. 10th is reduced inequalities. 11th, sustainable cities and communities, responsible consumption and productions, climate action, life below water, life on land, peace, justice and strong institutions, and partnership over the goals. So here you can see there is a pattern. If you want to remember these goals, here you can see we will start with the poverty. Once poverty is gone, you will work on the hunger, and once hunger is gone, then you can talk about let's say education, health. So first you have to deal with the poverty. If someone has some kind of saving, then they can spend on other things like health and education. So then health, then one goes to education, and then about when awareness is there. After education there is awareness, and because of which we will talk about gender equality. So this is just a way to remember. Okay, so these 5 are clear. Here you can see there is another thing here, responsible consumption and production. Okay, so here we are moving towards green here. Then climate action, this responsible consumption and production talks about sustainability, and then climate action, then life below water, life on land, then peace, justice and strong institution, and this partnership for all these goals. Okay, so that way you can remember all these things. Here important thing is goal number 8, that is decent work and economic growth. Okay, if you have idea that there is this goal number 8, you can easily answer this question here. So they are talking about 8.7. We know that 8 relates to economy and work. So we'll scan the options. First is universal access to basic services such as water and sanitation, that is not true. Then ensuring inclusive, equitable and quality education, that is also not true. Okay, this is goal, I guess, fourth. Then eradicate forced labor and modern slavery, human trafficking and child labor by 2025. So this seems to be a correct option because they are related to the work and economy. After that, develop sustainable cities and communities, that is also not in goal number 8. Okay, so your answer would be C. And we have discussed in our last lecture as well about the child labor related laws. There is a panel who has given a report wherein there are some discrepancies related to child labor laws and definitions. So that is why we have taken this question, and there is a target of 2025, by then we have to eradicate child labor. Okay. Now moving further, we start with the first article of the day, that is your Rajouri terror strike, 4 soldiers killed, 3 injured in the ambush. So basically there is this place Dehra ki Gali. Okay, here this is the map. You don't have to remember all these sites, but I'll give you the map, another map where you have to see the proximity of Rajouri and Poonch area when we are talking about LOC. Okay, so an operation was being conducted in the general area Dehra ki Gali since night of the December 20, and in that particular operation some kind of encounter happened, and then 4 soldiers were killed here. Okay, now there is this place named Surankot. Okay, we will talk about this place as well. For now, remember the name. Okay. Now, terror incidents away from the valley are high visibility strikes intended to inflict maximum damage. Okay. So now we have seen a change in the pattern. Earlier there used to be attacks in the valley area, and now they are going towards these areas like Rajouri and Poonch, which are, you know, we can say south of Pir Panjal. Okay. So why they are doing this? Because reaching to that particular valley have a hurdle, that is Pir Panjal. They have to cross the Pir Panjal, and earlier they used to have their bases, etc. But after 2011, all these activities has been stopped by then. Since 2005 to 11, there were some operations which has been conducted by our security forces, and then after 2011, this area was quite peaceful. After the abrogation of Article 370, these incidents has started again. Okay, so that is why this thing has been in news. Hold on a second. Okay, so after 2011, this area was quite peaceful. Okay, and after 2019, when we have abrogated the Article 370 from our Jammu and we have abrogated the constitution, or you can say special status of Jammu and Kashmir. Okay. So after that, there was some kind of trigger which has led to such incidents again. Okay. So now let's see here. If you want to give it a read, you can do. Otherwise, I will be, you know, talking about all these things. Now this is the map. Here, this is your LOC. Okay. Now here you can see this is Poonch area, which is quite close in the proximity of LOC, and then this is the Rajouri district. Okay. So now this is also quite close to the proximity of LOC. So now the thing is, these are kind of, you can say, forest and hilly areas. Okay. Here you can see in this map, these are Pir Panjal range. Okay. Both the districts are in the south part of Pir Panjal, that is Poonch and Rajouri. Now the thing is, these insurgents get inside, cross the LAC and they LOC, and they come towards these areas, and they start to cross this Pir Panjal and go to Kashmir Valley here. This is the valley area after this Pir Panjal range. Okay. So earlier what they used to do is, there was the base near somewhere here. That base was Surankot. Okay. Where they used to go for this, they have transit camps, they have training camps over there. And after 2005, or you can say in early 2000s, there was some operation which has been conducted by the defense forces of India, because we come to know that these are the area which has been occupied by these insurgents, or as a matter of fact terrorists. So then we have we have started some operation to remove them, and in that particular operations, the local communities like Gujars and Bakarwas over there, these communities helped us a lot. Okay. So with the help of these communities, we have eradicated these camps, etc., and we have secured this area. Okay, because of which after 2011, such incidents in the area actually reduced because they did not get any support from the locals. Actually, the locals were against them. Other than that, when we are talking about these camps, etc., they have been removed. So the problem is this geography is very harsh. Okay, since they are hilly and forest areas, so crossing these Pir Panjal has become a problem for them. Okay. So now recently after abrogation of 370, there was some kind of trigger, and then these people started doing that, but again crossing these Pir Panjal is still a hurdle, so they have started doing their activity in this particular area only. Okay. Now these are the area, since patrolling is also difficult in these areas. Okay. Other than that, one more factor was that after 2019, or you can say after 2017, you have seen that there is a deployment of forces on LAC. Okay. From LOC, we have shifted our focus to LAC because China was doing some kind of aggression over there. Okay, we have seen that there was this Doklam issue. After that, there was this Galwan issue. Okay, so because of which we have focused our deployment of the forces on LAC more. Okay, because of which they have kind of got some kind of opportunity, and they started these insurgency activities again here. Okay, so now here it is clear that this is your LAC, and all these areas like Uri, Punch, Mendhar, Rajouri, all these things are in the proximity of LAC, and there is this particular place, that is Surankot. It is in the Pir Panjal, that acted as training camps for these terrorists for a while. Okay, but that has been that area has been cleaned by the security forces of India. Okay. Now what is the problem? Why can't we take help of these Gujar and Bakarwals and revive this intelligence network over there? But the thing is, there are certain issues related to, let's say, employment, okay, development. So these people actually moved out of that particular area. There are issues related to Forest Act, Forest Right Act, etc. So because of which their focus has been diverted from these activities to their own personal gains. Okay, so because of which we cannot take help of these communities as we used to do. Okay, so that is why these incidents has been rising again. So we have taken the cognizance of this issue. We had discussed it in the detail. Here you can see we have talked about the densely forested areas of Rajouri and Punch. Okay, trend of fewer yet more impactful and high visibility terror attack in the area south of Pir Panjal as compared to the valley. As I told you, this is your Pir Panjal. Okay, and now they are going for attacking these areas rather than valley area. Okay, because valley area has been secured now. Okay, now we are talking about press bill passes Lok Sabha. Okay, so Lok Sabha, or you can say the current government, is going for some kind of changes when we are talking about existing laws or the laws which have any kind of colonial legacy. We have talked about post office law. Okay, there is this post office bill. Then we have talked about this telecom bill. Then we have talked about these 3 criminal reform bills, criminal law reforms bill. Okay, and then now this is the other bill, that is press bill. So government is saying that this bill has this act is also quite archaic in nature. Okay, the press and registration of periodicals bill. Okay, that has been put forward in the Lok Sabha and passed by the Lok Sabha, and this bill was actually passed by Lok Sabha in the earlier monsoon session. Okay, and now Lok Sabha has passed the bill. So it will simplify the registration of newspaper compared with the British era law. Okay, which it will replace. Okay, the British era law bought into stop freedom fighters from launching newspaper. So basically this particular law, when we are talking about British has gone for the press regulation for a long time. They tried to control the press in India, because obviously if press is not controlled by the Raj at that particular time, because of the awareness generation and the feeling of nationalism, if they could not control it, then the problem would be narrative would have been changed. Okay, but they tried to do it, ultimately they could not succeed, but that's another thing. But this bill or this act, which is colonial in nature, which tried to do that. Okay, so that is why they have come up with the new act, that is your Press and Registration Periodic Bill 2023. Okay. The bill was passed in Rajya Sabha during the monsoon session. It replaced the Press and Registration of Books PRB Act 1867. See, this has origin in 1867 in the later 19th century. Okay, earlier newspaper or magazine had to pass through a 8-step registration process. So there are 8 steps you have to follow. Now with this new bill, you can only do it by just a click of button online. Okay, so now it can be done at the click of a button. Okay, priority was to end criminality and improve the ease of doing business, ease of living through new laws. Okay, so basically whatever provisions which has been criminalized in this British era act, they tried to remove those, and then they have come up with the provisions which are making it easy for people to come into this business, or you can say kind of trying to go forward with the ease of doing business. Okay, so that is one thing. So they have decriminalized all the all the offences which are not necessary now. Other than that, they have gone for the ease of doing business and ease of living through the new laws. Now, bill seeks to empower the press registrar to enter any premises for a periodic inspection. Okay, here they are saying that the press registrar can go to any office for a periodic registration. He can take all the documents he might need. Okay, take copies of relevant records, documents, or ask any question necessary for obtaining any information required to be furnished. Okay, so he can ask for any kind of information. He can take copies of any document from there. Okay, so now here there are some concern. People are saying that would be kind of having a surveillance, etc. But the thing is, here government is saying that you are an individual or a journalist who can criticize the government as much as you like. Okay, there will not be any penal action when you are criticizing the government. Okay, but the thing is, if you are doing any act which is not in the lines with the constitution, or it is against the national's integrity, nation's integrity and sovereignty, then there can be some penal action. The law will take their own course. Okay, so that is why this particular element has been introduced, that so that there can be some kind of check on the activities of such press, etc. You are an individual or a journalist who can criticize the government as much as you like. No action will be taken. But if somebody carries the ideology of breaking, that is separatism, and dividing the country, then the law will take its own course. Okay, so they have not given in the details what are the provisions. If they will give in the explain section, tomorrow we will discuss it. Otherwise, this would be important as of now from this particular article. Okay, now moving further, the bill on appointment of ECs passes in line with the direction of Supreme Court. Here there are 3 to 4 things which you have to be which will be important for you. That is, one is appointment. Okay, so it was said that for the appointments, till the Parliament make a law in this regard, Supreme Court has given the direction that a select committee of Prime Minister, Leader of Opposition and CGI will go for appointment of ECs and CEC. Okay, that was the judgment by Supreme Court. It was a verdict or direction given to the government till Parliament makes a law in this regard. Okay, because we have a law that is from 1991, but that law does not talk about appointment, and because of which government used to go for the appointment. President used to appoint it with the aid and advice of Council of Ministers. Okay, that is why here Supreme Court has said that there will be a select committee of PM, Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha and CGI. So basically right now we don't have leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, because for being a leader of opposition you need to secure at least 10% of votes, okay, or 10% of the seats, sorry, not votes, seats. So 10% of the seats in the house. So right now even Congress, which is the largest party, it does not have that. So that is why they have considered to take leader of single largest majority party. Single largest opposition party. Okay, whatever party in opposition have a majority, single largest majority, they will be sending a leader, in this select committee. Okay. So that was the Supreme Court saying that there should be a framework where there will be a select committee wherein PM, leader of opposition, and CGI will be selecting the CCs and ECs. Okay. Now this bill comes, and this bill is suggesting that there would be a select committee. That select committee will be of Prime Minister, leader of opposition, and a cabinet minister. Okay. So here opposition is saying that you are going against the verdict of Supreme Court that CGI should be there, and you have taken a cabinet minister which will be nominated by the Prime Minister. So here government is saying that no, we did not go or violate the order of Supreme Court, because Supreme Court has said that this will be the framework till there will be a parliamentary law. Okay. And now appointments are the function of executive. Okay. So there is no role of Supreme Court in that, and that is why we have come up with this particular select committee. Okay. So that is one thing. Other than that, there will be a search committee as well. Okay. There will be a search committee. That search committee will actually give you the name of those eligible people. They will give you 5 names. Okay. So there will be a search committee which will give you a 5 name. This search committee will be under law minister. Okay. Plus there will be 2 union secretaries. Okay. So basically these 3 people will consider 5 candidates for the, and then they will send this name to the select committee. Okay. That select committee is of PM, leader of opposition, and a cabinet minister. Now these 3 people will decide on the names, and then they will appoint, president will appoint the person as a member of let's say election commission and the chair of election commission. Now here there is one catch, that other than these 5 people, they can select anyone if they find them a person of competency or merit. Okay. So these they have this kind of discussion. So that is one thing related to the appointment which we have discussed. Okay. Other than that, there are few more things which has been changed in the, let's say this particular bill. So their status has been kept at par with the judges of Supreme Court. Okay. Earlier they tried to change it, but now they have come with the same thing only. They are at the par with the Supreme Court. Their salary etc. will be at the par of judges of Supreme Court. Second thing is, when we are talking about removal, in that case also they can be removed as a Supreme Court judge would be removed, like approved misbehavior or incapacity can only be the reason or the ground on which these member of election commissioner or the chair of election commission can be removed. Okay. So that is one thing. When we are talking about the removal of the ECs, okay, the removal of EC can be on the recommendation of CEC only. Okay. Okay. And then when we are talking about the immunities, they have been given the immunities when that there will not be any case on ECs and CECs when they are performing any kind of official duty. Okay. So these are the few changes which has been made in this particular bill and which has been passed now. Okay. So here we have discussed about the appointment related issues. Okay. And then we have talked about this leader of opposition related part. Then salaries will be equal to the Supreme Court judge and protect the ECs and CSC from any kind of court cases. CSC shall not be removed from the office except like the manner on the ground judge of Supreme Court will be removed. EC shall not be removed except on the recommendation of CEC, and CEC and EC will be appointed from amongst the person who are holding or have hold a post equivalent to the rank of secretary. Okay. This is, sorry, I couldn't tell you that any person who are eligible candidate, that should be a person holding or have hold a rank of secretary. Okay. Or above the rank of secretary. So that is from this particular article. Okay. Now talking about the world trade, here center considers compensation for exporters hit by UK. So now EU carbon tax. So basically there are this carbon tax related issues. So European Union and UK has said that they will be imposing carbon tax on few articles which are related to, let's say, anything which is produced after carbon emission. Okay, dependent on the degree of emission, they will be going for some kind of tax. Okay, so when we are talking about this particular carbon border adjustment mechanism, in that particular mechanism they will be going for a tax, okay, which will be imposed on the imported articles from other countries. Okay, now here it is said that this particular mechanism will push up tariffs by 20 to 35% on iron, steel and aluminium products, which generally India is importing them the worth rupees some you can say 8 to 9 billion dollars. Okay, so now that is why this is a cause of concern for us. If there is a rise in the carbon tax, so that would be hurting our export. Okay, now the second thing is that in the future they will increase more products inside this particular category. Okay, so all EU imports will be covered under this mechanism by 2034. They are saying that all imports will be covered under this category by 2034. Developed countries have generated 79% of the historical carbon emissions. Now here we are saying that when we are talking about such mechanism, you cannot go to WTO, because even actually we can go, but the thing is there are certain norms which we agree also. Okay, here addressing these kind of issues will not be possible in free trade agreement. Okay, because it will be a challenge going for the negotiation in a free trade agreement. Okay, kind of measures emanate from the WTO provisions. Okay, so these measures are derived from a WTO provision which even we are committed to. Okay, it allows members to take measures for the protection of human lives, plants and health. It includes the environment as well. Okay, so ultimately there is a provision in WTO where it allow countries to take some measures to protect their human lives, plants and health. It also includes the environmental factor as well. So considering that even we are committed to that, we cannot directly challenge it, but India has gone to WTO with respect to your SNDT, that is special and differentiated treatment. Okay, under this particular mechanism wherein there would be given some kind of relaxation or extension of the timeline to developing countries, considering their if we are going for such agreements, there should be no harm to their trade. Okay, so that is why there would be a extension of the timeline when we are talking about these developing countries. Okay, here CBAM is a violation of special and differential treatment provision of the WTO that advocates longer period for implementing agreements and commitments for developing a nation's safeguard and trade interest of a developing country. Okay, so here they will be giving some kind of extra period or longer period for the developing countries. Okay, so India has taken that as a contention and went to WTO. That is one thing. Other than that, also India is saying that when we are talking about emissions historically, these countries or European countries which are developed, they have given more or contributed more. Okay, so now they are imposing such kind of tax that tax will hurt the export of the developing countries now. Okay, the trade experts have also criticized CBAM violating the principle of international environmental law. All states are responsible for the addressing global environmental destruction, not yet equally responsible. Okay, so they are saying that all the states are responsible for some kind of emission, but not equally responsible. So there is this common but differentiated responsibility. Okay, CBDR. So common but differentiated responsibility here means that all the countries have responsibility towards reducing the emissions, but differentiated here means that the countries who has contributed more historically should do more to prevent it. Like if we are talking about developed countries which have contributed more because of the industrial revolution in those countries, and since they were moving ahead of us, that is why they have contributed more. So they have an added responsibility to mitigate it as well. Okay, so that is the CBDR mechanism that assume more significance for India, which contribute to under 1/7 of world's emissions. Okay, so now this mechanism EU is saying that they will be implementing it by 2027. Okay, the mechanism will place a carbon price on some of the most emission incentive industrial goods imported to UK from that is aluminium, cement, ceramics, fertilizer, glass, hydrogen and steel sectors. These are the sectors which they have kind of added till now, and in future they are saying that almost all the imports will be covered under this particular mechanism. Okay, so that is from this article, and this is a cause of concern for India because it will ultimately make Indian export non-competitive in the world trade. Okay. Okay. Now moving forward, there is this what are volcanoes and why do they keep erupting when we are talking about in Iceland. Okay. So this region Iceland, here you can see in the Arctic Ocean there is this small, or you can say landmass, that is Iceland, and in that particular area there has been a eruption of new volcano that has been dormanted for like 6,000 years, but in the recent years after let's say some in last few 4-5 years it has been erupting again and again. There is a frequency of 4 to 5 times. Okay, since 2021, however, the frequency has spiked to almost 1 eruption a year. Okay, earlier there was a frequency that it would erupt in 4 to 5 years, but since 2021 this frequency has changed. It is erupting every 1 year, you can say. Okay, almost 1 eruption per year. Okay, so now here the name of the place is Fagradal Fall. Okay, so that is Fagradal's Fall. Okay, this is located in this Reykjanes Peninsula. Here you can see this island is there, and there is some small part in the southern part here, that is Reykjanes Peninsula. Okay, so that would be important for your map related activities. So now let's see. Lava flows from the volcanic island were flowing down from the Wednesday, although new vents could open at the short notice. The authorities are saying that there can be new vents which will open considering the recent which has been slowing down, but there are possibility that new vents might open again. Okay, so now here this is the third time that the Fagradal Fall volcano has erupted in the past 2 years after being dormant over 6 years. Okay, 6,000 years. So for 6,000 years this was actually dormant, and now since last 2 years it has been erupting again and again. Iceland is one of the most volcanically active regions because it is on the tectonic plate which is actually moving away from each other. So that is why there is this eruption. So it is eruption every 4 to 5 years since 2001. However, the frequency has spiked to almost 1 eruption per year. Okay. Now what are the volcanoes? Okay. So volcanoes are nothing but some kind of opening from where the liquid magma or lava comes out from the internals from the earth. Okay. So here volcanoes are the opening or vents where lava or tephra, small rocks and streams erupted onto the earth surface from the interior of the earth. Okay. So now they are formed when the material or the liquid rocks, that is known as magma. Okay, that actually these liquid rocks basically when there is a increase in the temperature and pressure inside, these rocks kind of melts, and whenever they find some kind of opening they try to come out of it. Okay, so when they come out, whenever they are inside they are magma, when they come out as lava. Okay, so here you can see when it breaks through the surface, ashes, gases are significantly hotter than the surrounding environment erupted outside the earth surface. So basically whenever they are inside they are magma, and then when they come outside they are lava. So temperature of these gases, ashes would be more than the surrounding of the area. Okay, the rise of magma can be because of some 2 or 3 reasons. So one reason is when tectonic plates are moving away from each other. We know that there is this theory of tectonic plates by Alfred Wegener. He says that earth is made up of various plated, and when these plates are actually moving away from each other, then they will find a opening from where the magma will come out. Okay, that is one thing. Other thing would be when these plates are coming closer to each other. Okay, When they come close, they will crash, and there will be a huge amount of temperature increase and the pressure increase, because of which the you can say this rocks will melt, and then there will be a magma which will come out eventually. Okay, so that is when the plates move away from each other, when the plates move toward each other. Okay, then there are some hot spots. Then there are some hot spots. These are basically the hot area inside the earth where magma heats up. As magma get warmer, it start to raise and then it comes out. Okay, so there are three ways it can come out: when the tectonic plates are moving away from each other, when these tectonic plates are coming and colliding with each other, because of which there is a high temperature and pressure which will create liquid rocks, and then ultimately when they find an opening, they will come outside. Okay, that is second thing. And third is the hot spots. Okay, these are existing in few areas. When we are talking about this Iceland, here there are two plates which are moving apart from each other. Okay, they are moving apart from each other. Other than that, it is also a hot spot. Okay, because of which there are frequent volcano activities here. Okay, what are the different types of the volcano? The type of volcano depends on the viscosity of the magma, amount of gases which it has. Other than that, the composition of the magma and the way it reach the surface. Okay, depending on that, there will be different type of volcanoes. When we are talking about in simple terms, there are two types. One is stratovolcano. Okay, and then second is shield. When viscosity is high, we will go will have this shield volcanoes, wherein there will be a sheet will be formed on the earth's surface. Okay, and whenever there is a low viscosity and there is a high pressure, this cone like structure will form. Okay, and such volcanoes are known as stratovolcano, because they will have high pressure and temperature, because of which they will erupt with a force. Okay, so there are some geographical features which are attached to it, there like cone, and there is cinder, etc. So that is about that. Why this Iceland so volcanically active? So as I told you, there are two plates, that is North American tectonic plate and Eurasian plate. So these two plates are moving apart from each other, because of which there is actually this volcanic activities which is happening here. Okay, so here you can see there are two names which you can remember, that is one is Fagradal's fall. Okay, that is one. Then there is Reykjanes Peninsula, which would be important for your exam. Okay, so here this is the Reykjanes Peninsula in the Iceland, and then when we are talking about this Fagradal's fall, it is somewhere here. Okay, and this particular Iceland area is located in the Arctic Ocean. Okay, now moving further to the world affairs. Now there is this word, that is donkey roots, or there is this movie based on this, that is donkey or donkey. Okay, so in India that word has been somehow changed to donkey, because mostly the, people from Punjab and Haryana are taking this activities where they were involved in this donkey routes, from where they used to with the assistance of some kind of agents, they used to illegally move from our country to any other countries like say America or UK. Mostly this, when we are talking about this donkey route, that is associated with the American dream, or you can say moving moving illegally to America. Okay, so now there are certain ways you can go there, so that we will discuss here. Here I would directly go into the routes or the maps. Okay, so here Punjabi social media has many videos from the jungles of Panama, the small country in Central America, which are saying that they make an straightforward appeal that never take this route, find your own home country. Okay, find your own, work in your own home country. Okay, so those people who are going through this journey, they are appealing that you should not go for this. Okay, so that is the kind of risk you are taking while you are going through this journey. So here migrants are being tortured or dying on the way as people continue to risk their life in pursuit of their own version of American dream. Okay, the donkey route, earlier popular in Punjab and Haryana, now is being taken by Gujaratis as well. Okay, so this word Shah Rukh Khan's Donkey, that is the movie, is basically an illegal trip which has been taken by this person from India to UK, but in real life that is associated with the American dream. Okay, so now let's see how they do it. Okay, so they first they will reach to the Latin America. Okay, because if you are going to USA illegally and you are going any country which is in the vicinity of USA, there are more visa restrictions. Okay, so that is why they are going to Latin America first. Okay, from Latin America they are going to first trying to reach to Colombia, and from Colombia they are taking this route towards Mexico, going through, that is Panama, and then Guatemala, and then to the Mexico, and from Mexico they will be entering USA. Okay, so let's have a look at the map first. Here you can see this is the American continents, North America and South America. First people from India will go to Colombia here. Okay, then through this path they will be moving to United States. So in the pathway there will be Panama, and then there will be Guatemala, and then Mexico, and then United States. Okay, so now why these things are risky here, you can see from when Colombia to you are moving towards Panama, there is this patch of forest, that is Darien Gap. So this area is actually there are some, first there is a threat of wild animals, second there is the threat of the people living over there. Okay, there are some kind of traffickers, then there are some gangs which are involved in such areas. Okay, so here you can see from Colombia, the northwestern of the southern American continent routes into the Central America through Panama, the passes through the Darien Gap, most dangerous jungle, wild animals and the criminal gangs over here. Okay, it takes 8 to 10 days to pass this particular patch, and that is the most dangerous patch first. Okay, then they will reach to Guatemala, okay, which share border with Mexico, and then they will reach Mexico border, and they will take different routes. Either they will go with the border only, and where they will encounter the US authorities, and they will check, and they will give you asylum if everything is fine. Okay, that is one thing. Actually the US authorities there will decide your fate, that is one thing. Other than that, there is another route which has been taken by a few people, that is the sea route. Okay, so here you can see from Colombia there is this island. Okay, from where they will go to Nicaragua, and then using this sea route they will go to the coast of Mexico. Okay, and then ultimately after Mexico they will go to USA. So that is the second route, that is the sea route. Okay, if you are trying to avoid the that patch of this Darien Gap. Okay, so now Guatemala will share the border with the Mexico, and migrants are handed over to a new set of traffickers here. Okay, and then they will enter into Mexico, and they will take you towards the US border. At the US border, US Mexico border is the world's busiest border crossing, and at that particular crossing there are few ways you can do, that is scale the border fence. It is a fenced border, so either you have to enter inside illegally. Second thing is you have to cross the Rio Grande River. Okay, so this river you have to cross, that this it itself is a dangerous task. Okay, other than that you can be caught at the border, and then US authorities will decide if you are to be given an asylum or not. Okay, so that is about this particular thing. We have seen that recently we have talked a lot about migration, and that is why this article was important. Here we have discussed this particular area from Colombia to Panama to Guatemala to Mexico, and then to United States. Other than that there is some island, and from there to Nicaragua, and then taking the sea route to Mexico. Okay, then there is this Darien Gap which is between Colombia and Panama. So this can be important for you. Okay, now moving forward towards the other world affairs. India has proven track record, MEA says, regarding the Maldives water survey pact. We have discussed this article, you can give it a read. Actually the thing is we have discussed this article for like 3 to 4 times now, so you can easily give it a read. There is nothing new. The thing is there is the new president over there has started their polling campaign with India Out campaign. So it was kind of speculations that once this particular government comes to the power, there are chances that they will have some bitter relations with India. Now this government is saying that to remove the military personnel from Maldives, which India, whatever 77 military personnel which we have over there for their emergency response over there, they are using these 2 helicopters and the 1 aircraft which is provided by India to these people for their emergency. Okay, and these 77 personnel are there to operate these equipments. Okay, now they are saying that remove these military presence from Maldives. Other than that, there was this hydrological survey related treaty which was to be renewed, but Maldives said that they are not intending to renew it, and because of which now this article has been in news. We have talked about it. You can give it a read again. Now, moving towards US China top military officials speak for the first time over years. Okay, so in 2022 in Taiwan, House of Representative of USA, their speaker visited Taiwan. Okay, because after that there was some kind of strain in the relation of USA China, even though otherwise we see there is tension between USA and China relating to the hegemony of each each other. Now USA had a hegemony in a post Cold War world, and recently China has been trying to challenge that. Okay, so because of which there has been some kind of resistance between these 2 countries, and now they are going for the talk. Okay, so that is why this particular article was in this. US military official virtual meeting Chinese with the Chinese counterpart, first such conversation after years. Okay, so now followed the agreement between the US President Joe Biden and Chinese President Xi Jinping last month to resume military to military talks again. So that is why this was in news. Ultimately, here we are saying that some analysts are saying that China is seeking the ambiguity in this relations because of the some kind of constraint or whatever stand USA has been taking in the international issues when we are talking about this South China Sea. Okay, other than that, when we are talking about BRI, etc. So in all those things, USA has been against China. That is why they are going for this. There is this strategy of China. This is a view of some scholars or analysts that that China seeks ambiguity in defense relations to constrain what Beijing sees as US military provocation in the region. Okay. So there are few military exercises, there are few bases of USA in the region. Other than that, there are some allies like South Korea, Japan. Okay, so considering all these things, China is quite trying to take this opportunity, and they are seeking some kind of ambiguity in the relations now. Okay, Washington and Beijing are at loggerheads over everything from the future of democratically ruled Taiwan and territorial claims in South China Sea. As I told you, when we are talking about South China Sea, there are few islands, okay, like Paracel Island, Spratly Islands. So such islands has been in news, and they have been contested between the countries over there like Philippines, Vietnam and China. Even there is Senkaku Island which is contested between China and Japan. So basically because of all these territorial claim and the position of USA on Taiwan, these countries has been on the loggerheads, and recently now they are going for the talks. Now since they are going for the talks, most of the countries of Quad are also like Australia, Japan and USA. All these countries are going for a talk with China. So now there are questions related to India's position. Scholars are asking, should India go for talking to China or not? Okay, but our foreign policy as of now, or our external affairs minister is taking. They are saying that it is not necessary that India should go what Quad countries are doing. We should not be following them. We should have our own instance over there. And when we are talking about the leverage or the risk which we have, they don't have such things, because when we are talking about USA does not have any direct border conflicts with China. On the other hand, we have it. Okay. When we are talking about Japan do have some territorial claims in some islands, but the thing is the degree of the issues they have with China and what we have with China is different. So India should follow our own foreign policy here. Okay. Now moving further, Egypt seeks to broke Gaza truce as Hamas Israel Assad demands. So basically there has been this UNSC resolution vote. Okay. And other than that, there are some kind of negotiation which has been going on between the countries like Egypt, Hamas, Israel and USA. So basically all these countries are trying to go for a truce, okay, and the all the hostages should be sent back to Israel, okay. But now Hamas are saying that we will not do anything until all the offenses which has been done by the Israel in the Gaza, that has stopped, okay. So that is why there is some kind of doldrums in that area. Other than that, exporters search for the alternative routes as Houthi targets the Red Sea. We have talked about this article for like 3 times now, so I won't be talking about it. You can just give it a read, okay. Now for your read, we have taken this article related to our criminal law reforms, okay. Yesterday we have discussed it in detail, and with respect to that there is this explained section, okay, which is given in very simple language. You can directly give it a read, okay. Here they have discussed all the new offenses they have added, like promise to marry, mob lynching, organized crime. We have talked about all these things, terrorism, okay, attempt to suicide. All these things has been added into this particular code, and then some offenses has been deleted, that is related to unnatural sexual offense, that is section 377. Here that is a concern that they have, along with the homosexuality, they have altogether removed the section 377, which was quite important because it actually protected against the unnatural sex, that is non consensual, okay, unnatural sex. So basically when we are talking about the rape laws in India, they are gender biased, okay. So that is why whenever there is the attempt of rape against a man, they can go with this particular action, they could have gone, but in the bills that has been removed. Other than that, adultery, thugs, gender neutrality, all these things has been taken care of. And there are some other tweaks, let's say fake news, seditions, mandatory minimum sentences, community services, etc. We have discussed all these things, so give it a read now, okay. So let's take the practice question for you. Recently, Reykjanes Peninsula, as I told you that is important, was in news. In which region can the peninsula be found? Okay, here Arabian Sea, South China Sea, South Atlantic Ocean or Arctic Ocean, okay. So you have to attempt this question and answer in the comment box. Now a question for your mains: how have global socio-political and economic factors contributed to the dynamics and complexities of the modern day migration patterns around the world? Okay, so now we have talked about all the migration related issues. Let's say when we are talking about European Union, when we are talking about UK, when we are talking about USA, and recently we have taken this donkey route, okay. So considering all these things, you can write an answer. The thing is, you can take your static parts from your notes, but these are the current developments which you can include in your answer, okay. So how can the global socio-political and economic factors contribute to the dynamics? Okay, so first thing, why migrations? Okay, so there are some factors, socio-economic and political factors, which are attached to the reasons for the migration. You can discuss that, and then you will talk about the impact or the current dynamics and the complexities. Okay, so now we have discussed that why UK is going to send these illegal migrants to Rwanda. Okay, so all these things you can discuss over here, okay. So with that, I would wrap up the session here. So I'll see you tomorrow. Till then, have a good day. Thank you.